So, for the past year, I've had a subscription to PlayStation Plus Extra, which, if you're not familiar with PlayStation Plus, it's essentially just a subscription to play online games, which feels like a scam, but every now and then they throw in a game or two every month for free. But they recently, meaning like about a year ago, they released 3 different versions of PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus Essential, which is what I just explained, 2 games a month, and you get to play online games. PlayStation Plus Extra, which is basically the same as Essential, except you pay a little bit more, and you get a huge catalog of actually really good games. And in this video, I'm going to review 6 of the games that I found in the PlayStation Plus catalog that I actually really enjoyed. Oh yeah, and there's another one, PlayStation Plus Premium. It has everything that the Extra has, but it has like a classics catalog, which is basically just another catalog, except this time it's full of like old PlayStation games. It would be worth it if they had Black Ops 2 or Silent Hill 2, but of course they don't. Right, so I guess we should get into this video. Okay, let's go! Okay. So I'm gonna start this off with one of my absolute favorite games from this pick. Watch Dogs 1. You play as a vigilante hacker named Aiden Pierce, who's on a mission to hunt down the people that killed his daughter. And by the way, when I say hacker, I don't mean staring at a computer in a coffee shop like Mr. Robot. No, let me explain this in a bit further more detail. The world we're playing in, the city of Chicago, after a multi-million-dollar networking company has essentially basically bought everything out. You know what? Watch Dogs has some amazing graphics that they've hired voice actors and amazing animations teams to do that would explain this so much better than I could right now, and currently am. So I think I'm just gonna...
2011 marked the installation of America's first central operating system. CTOS is a computer software that manages entire cities, providing centralized control over subway lines, traffic lights, surveillance cameras, and electricity grids. A computer now controls a major city. But who controls the computer? The answer is private companies that have everything to gain from a CTOS.
So Aiden Pierce is not only just a hacker that can get into like government buildings and whatever. He can control traffic lights, water valves, pretty much anything that has some sort of electricity to it. This game is truly actually really fun and actually has a really good story that is just so overhated. It's mainly overhated for being about a sad white guy trying to go on a vengeance, and he's sad and
whatever.
But the themes throughout this game are truly cinema. 8 out of 10. But now, Watch Dogs 2 on the other hand... Watch Dogs 2 has the same hacking aspect as the first game, except now you can control cars and stuff, I guess. The graphics are actually really quite impressive, and the map is actually really entertaining. It's set in San Francisco, and that actually makes a lot of sense, being in Silicon Valley and everything. But you can kind of tell what I'm getting at if I'm talking about the graphics and the map first. The gunplay is horrible, and the characters are so unbearable. And for some reason, the devs at Ubisoft decided to put these, like, old-ass memes that aged like actual fucking milk. But one thing I have to give the game is that it's actually quite fun. Fun enough to the point where I've actually platinumed the game. The first game had good themes, good story, good dialogue, good acting. This one just fucking sucks, man. 4 out of 10 for lack of self-awareness. I mean, it's alright, like. Now, back to the good stuff. Inscription is a really good immersive card game, where you play against an unknown man, and you have to try your best to beat him at his own game. The mechanics and the gameplay and the strategy of this game is so good. It's just something I sat down and just spent hours on, being able to upgrade your cards the further down the map you go. But one of the best parts about this game is the secret story that lies in between it. And once you figure out what the clues and the meanings of what the cards are trying to tell you, everything starts to slowly unfold. And I can't say any more without spoiling, but I guarantee you it's not one of those fantasy bullshit blah blah blah. It's actually really captivating and kind of feels like a movie in the way it's so intriguing and draws you in. Like, just breaking the world and the fourth wall completely. Amazing game. Great style, great aesthetic, great strategy, great gameplay. 9 out of 10. Resident Evil 2 Remake. This game is really good. But I have to preface this by saying one thing. I am a fucking coward. This game is so good, but my lord is it spooky. And since it's a game and not a YouTube video, I can't just scroll down and hide in the comments. And listen. I get what you're probably gonna say. It's not that scary. Grow up, get a job. And to all the criticism, all I have to say is, I'm baby. In all seriousness, the tension is extremely well built throughout the entirety of the game. I mean, at least as far as I know. It's set in a police building in the fictional place of Raccoon City. And the whole city has been swarmed by a zombie-like virus. And basically your task, obviously as the main character, is to find out what's going on, what caused it, and why it's all happening. By going in dark as fuck corridors with unknown entities around every corner. And that's not even the worst part. At one point, this absolute beast of a man just comes out of nowhere and scares the fucking shit out of you. And he just hunts you down the entire game. Man, that game is too much for me. I played for a total of 8 hours and then I deleted it. I can't actually rate this fairly because I didn't complete it. I'm just going to show a clip for my rating of Joseph Seed from Far Cry New Dawn saying, "Release me! Release me!" Yeah, that's mint. I'll post that. For a game that I thought would actually be quite fun, What Remains of Edith Finch is absolutely fucking devastating. The game is set in a very interestingly built house that you would only see in a video game or a cartoon, and this house is said to have had a family curse on it. You play throughout the game as your last surviving family member, 17-year-old Edith Finch. And as you start to wander through the house, you uncover stories of your family who lived there and how they met their untimely death. Here's a couple examples, 10-year-old Molly Finch died from eating toothpaste, berries, and gerbil food after being sent to a room without food. 22-year-old Lewis Finch, who decapitated himself while deeply struggling with drug addiction. And probably one of the most tragic of them all, 1-year-old Gregory Finch, who died in a bathtub due to negligence. I could go on, but this game is just so tragic, and honestly I can't even make any funnies here because it's all just sad young people dying. Hi there, this is Narcissit from the editing room. It's the same room. I just wanted to say that one of the most devastating parts of What Remains of Edith Finch is the fact that we never see anybody explicitly die. We never see Lewis decapitate himself, we never see Molly ODing on the ground or falling out a window. After every single family member's death, they start going through delusions, and you can tell exactly where the cutoff point is between when they've left reality. It's such an interesting way to tell stories because you're seeing it through the character's perspective. Back to the video. This game says a lot about death, and if it has meaning, and if it matters if it does have meaning. 8.5 out of 10. No, anyway, no more sad game. Let's get back to the funny stuff. Well, a much more lighthearted game is Superliminal, a game where you are a patient in an experimental testing facility where they're trying to see what happens in the brain when they put motherfuckers to bed, and creating dream sequences to test the brain. But of course the video game thing happens and it goes wrong, and then the game gets a little spooky. Don't worry, I played it through this time. I'm not a complete coward. I'm a bit of a coward. Not a complete coward. Superliminal is definitely a very simple game, and is probably one of the most simple ones on this list. But it still has a very great message to it. But of course, I can't tell you it without spoiling the game. But I'm sure you've seen one of the 4 million YouTubers who've made a Let's Play on this game. Superliminal has very fun, unique physics, and is really quite entertaining. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because it's really quite good. It's such a simple game that I can't really rate it any higher without feeling like I might be insulting the other games I've rated. Anyways, that's 6 of the games I've ranked so far. I do plan to make this a series, and if you guys like this idea, I'm gonna keep going with it. I'm gonna go make a second video whether you like it or not. And I'm quite enjoying it. I'm Narcissit, and thanks for
It's just another day in the crazy world. Never take a win if you don't take a failure. There's some pins in my skin, I'ma let it hurt. Touched on, have to find how to make it worse.
Release me! Release me! Release me! Oh. Yeah, that's mint. I'll post that.